We're nearing the end of the year and you might be thinking about creating some new, healthier habits. Well, wanting to create healthier habits is a critical starting point, but you actually need much more in order to be able to sustain them after you started them. A roadmap is needed for moving towards and arriving at your goals, and that roadmap is a collection of goal-supporting habits. Unfortunately, a lot of people who start new habits end up quitting those habits within the first 6 months. So, how can you start and maintain healthy new habits? I'm Jordan Thompson with The Perfect Workout, and today we're going to discuss how we can actually use the science of habit development to stop unwanted habits, to start healthier new habits, and know how to tell if you're making progress or not. Let's dive in. We're often tempted to reach our goals in the fastest way possible. And if you're like me, sometimes you might want to drive like 90 miles per hour on a road trip just to shave off a few minutes and arrive a little faster. But when it comes to reaching health and fitness goals, people will often use rigorous approaches that require a lot of energy and a lot of time, just a lot of effort up front to start that habit. Unfortunately, our time and effort towards goals decreases in less than 6 months. As a result, it's really common for people to lose their progress beyond that 6-month marker. Instead of focusing on time and energy-consuming approaches, you're more likely to reach and maintain your goals by making sustainable habit changes. A long-term study from the University of Pittsburgh illustrated this point exactly. In the study, instead of using aggressive calorie tracking for the purpose of losing weight, over 400 women focused on simple, healthy diet changes. The researchers followed up with the women in the study 2 points in the future, 6 months after the study and 4 years later. They showed that successful long-term weight loss was linked with the following habits: decreasing the consumption of dessert, sugar-sweetened beverages, meats and cheeses, and with an increase in fruit and vegetable consumption. So what's the big takeaway? Use simple, relevant habit changes to create sustainable progress. Now, we all know that maintaining healthy habits is hard, but why? Before we dive into starting new habits, let's discuss a little bit more how to break interfering habits that we already have. Breaking a habit involves a few approaches, including these two. Number 1 is stop the habit-causing cues. So some examples of this are changing your commute to avoid driving by a fast food restaurant, or no longer going to the room at work where the candy jar is located. Replace the candy jar on your desk with fruit, or remove it entirely to avoid the visual cue that stimulates the desire to consume when you're not hungry. In general, remove incentives and prompts that make the negative habit easier to sustain. The second one is changing your environment. Add obstacles between you and the habits that you want to stop. Maybe that's throwing out the ice cream in your home or avoiding buying it altogether. Place your TV remote in an inconvenient location so you have to get up to turn off the TV. Put your phone on the other side of the room or in a separate room from you when you're sleeping in an effort to get better quality sleep. By just implementing those 2 things, you are already going to be on your way to stopping the habits that you no longer want. Now, to develop new habits, the following 3 techniques support starting and continuing new behaviors. The first one, repetition. We know it's a little cliche that, you form a habit in 21 days, but that's not an exact science. But there's a little bit of accuracy to it. Performing an action consistently, such as daily, leads to habit formation after a while. But how long does it actually take to form the habit? Is it 21 days? Is it 60 days? Is it 90 days? Well, research shows that it varies. Some experiments showed as little as 18 days of consistency, while over 200 days were necessary in other research. For you, pick a time frame to perform the daily habit and stick to that commitment. The next is create habit-supporting cues. Cues not only trigger us towards that undesirable behavior, but they can also be used to drive us towards healthy behaviors. Some cues that drive us towards healthy habits are leaving a gym bag by the front door, or using a phone alarm to get an alert when it's time to get ready for bed, or leaving a bowl of fruit on the counter. And lastly is monitor your habits and progress. Self-awareness is a very powerful tool. A wealth of research shows that when people monitor their progress and habits, they have better outcomes. These self-monitoring approaches promote enhanced awareness of your habits, whether they are working or not, which reinforces continued or enhanced effort. So some examples of self-monitoring are exercise journaling, food journaling, just journaling in general, daily weighing if it makes sense for you and your goals, taking monthly measurements, tracking calories if that makes sense for you, or even counting steps. These habits are linked with more success with weight loss, muscle growth, and sticking to exercise and nutrition habits. It is important to know which of these tools and exercises are going to be empowering to you and not demotivating to you. Some of us will thrive with counting calories, while others may find it a bit detrimental to their mental health. If you need help figuring out what works for you, then we suggest speaking with a nutrition coach. One of the most important things is getting support and accountability. Having someone like an accountability partner or a coach to hold you accountable can make building new habits easier. And it's also the number one reason why our members at The Perfect Workout continue to choose to work with their trainers. It helps them reach and maintain their goals. So let's recap and create a step-by-step process for you to create and sustain healthy habit change. And remember, if you can stick to goal-supporting habits, you'll be much more likely to reach your goal and stay there. Number 1, identify your goals and be specific. If that's losing weight, how much? Reduce your blood pressure, by how much? Increase your muscle mass, by how much? Number 2, make your goals mean something. If you just want to lose weight for the sake of losing weight, that's not going to be big enough motivation to keep you staying consistent. What is the ultimate why behind your goals? And revisit that why as often as you need to along your journey. Number 3, determine what habits are getting in the way of your goals. Is it watching TV after work? Is it eating dessert every night? Number 4, break the cues and change the environment that promotes those habits. If it's a late night snack, if it's an issue with snacking in general, then maybe keeping them out of your home. Next up is identify habits that support your goals. Strength training, eating more protein, how can you scale those habits? Number 6 is create cues and environments to support your habits. Buy protein powder, leave it on your kitchen counter, leave the shoes by your door when you're heading out for work. Whatever's gonna support that ultimate goal and habit. Number 7 is choose methods for self-monitoring and how often that you'd like to do that. If that's something like journaling every day or weighing yourself once a week, maybe it's even tracking protein in an app. What's gonna work for you? And next is set specific micro goals for your habits. If it's strength training, then maybe we need to be doing that twice a week. And lastly, share your goals with an accountability partner. Get started on those habits and self-monitoring approaches today. When you combine The Perfect Workout's signature slow motion strength training with our lifestyle and nutrition coaching, you can expect to be supported one-on-one through each of these steps. And if you're already not a member of The Perfect Workout, we encourage you to book a free introductory session and immediately get that support and accountability and a roadmap to reaching your goals. Head on over to theperfectworkout.com to get started.